Today we're going to do some bow exercises that help with right hand flexibility. This should enable you to get more colors and also to be able to produce sound at any part of the bow. So the first thing is windshield wipers. So you just hold the bow, don't change your fingers, and turn your whole arm. Did you ever do these when you were a kid?
Yes.
Yeah. So that
A lot of them.
rotation is so much a part of what we do with the bow arm. So this is a good one. Okay, and then the next one is the bow crawl vertical. So point your tip towards the ceiling, and then crawl towards the tip. So it's pretty easy going this way, right? And the idea is you're not supposed to let it wobble around and stuff like that. And then you can crawl back down. So that's a little harder going back down, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to figure out how to pull the bow up into your hand. I got these exercises from George Nykrug, who probably got this from Dunas.
Okay.
That's where most of the things he taught came from, his beloved teacher, D.C. Dunas. Then the next one is horizontal. And now you'll really feel your pinky because you're supposed to crawl to the tip. So I find this much harder, right?
Definitely.
And I might never get there. And then when you get to the tip, you can crawl back. But for extra points, turn it around and start at the tip. And now try crawling towards the frog. Isn't that
That's a lot
so much
harder.
work
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
pinky? So this is sort of an aspirational exercise.
And keeping it from wobbling too
Right,
is hard.
right. And, uh, I think most of us have a bow hand area of our brain where everything is sort of going together and we don't feel the separate fingers and how much they're doing individually. And so exercises like this help that happen in the same way that, Kurganov and exercises like that help the independence of fingers in the left hand.
Right.
And this is why I have it said that every one of his fingers had a brain. He could feel them separately.
Yeah.
That's how developed they were. Okay, so horizontal and vertical. The next one is just rolling the bow, which I think we've done on the string, right? But it's good to do it in the air and just realize that sort of relationship, because when you roll the bow away, then the fingers answer, right? You can feel that. And if these are not working well, maybe when you go to put a down bow, the bow flops over, right?
Right.
So those fingers are important for controlling that aspect of wood to hair for the best sound. Pinky push up, I like. You hold your wrist, and now you let the bow go down, and then you bring it back up with your pinky. You can feel again how much work there is involved, but in my teaching, what I've noticed is just that everybody sort of has a tendency to clamp on with this part of the hand, and then these guys are sort of just going along for the ride. Or sometimes you'll see people that do have thumb and index, but then these guys are very, limp and not engaging in the bow. So that's why I like to talk about these fingers being the suckling pigs, so that you really feel that you have control of the bow in every direction, and at the same time you have flexibility in your hand. And you can really tire your pinky muscles.
Yeah,
with
right
that.
there.
Yeah.
Starts getting
Yeah,
tired.
you can feel it. Yeah, you can feel it. So I believe we did the string resistance once on the fiddle, but you can also do string resistance in the air. So if you put your bow horizontally and then have your hands move towards each other. So you're pushing the bow towards each other. And that, remember when I did that when you were on the string? And this really helps you get deeper in the string, because if you don't let the bow go across the string, then the force that you're putting into it puts it into the string, and you remember how much your sound changed,
Yeah,
right?
a lot.
Yeah. So this is the up bow, and then the down bow is the opposite.
Opposite.
And I like to practice it where I can get a lot of flexibility in my knuckles because I used to have what I called a claw. I didn't know how to release this.
Right.
So this is one of the exercises that George Nykrug showed me, and I'm really relaxing the knuckles in my hand. Okay, so you can do it this way. You can also do it more sort of Galamian, where as you pull your hands apart, you roll your forearm onto the pinky, right? So I'm doing supination. This is a frog position for a Galamian bow arm. This is a frog position for a little bit older-fashioned Franco-Belgian bow arm, right? And when I do this, in order to be comfortable, you see I let go there. And it's really fun to try the different sounds because this Galamian thing, I'm still rolled off of the index finger, but I have space inside my hand, so I might have a larger sound this way than I would this way. And this would be a more diffused sound, so good if I wanted to, I don't know, blend inside a quartet or something like that. So you can take this bow and just kind of go back and forth and try strong up bow, which means bumpy knuckles, strong up bow, and then release to the down bow, and do one this direction where you keep your fingers slanted on the bow, and then do an up bow, and then do one where you do practice leaning over. And you can see then you're getting more release in this part of your hand, and the pinky bends, and your index finger slides back. So that sets up big hand, which is so good for concerto.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do some exercises that help develop what Mr. Galamian called pronation and supination. So pronation is when you're leaning on the inside of your arm. You can think of it as if you're turning a doorknob, right? And you're leaning on that side of your arm. Supination is when you are leaning on the opposite, right? So you turn, and as if you were going to karate chop, that would be supination, right? With that position. Mr. Galamian was very helpful, really, in my opinion, to our having still kept our job as soloist with orchestras, because this sound that comes from this pronation and supination is meatier and more projecting. And if you think about it, we're playing with no mic, no microphone, and the orchestra is 100 people, and yet we're expected to project over that. This could not have happened if Galamian had not figured out how to do this pronation, supination. So the first exercise, I just call this sequence 1, 2, 3, add a finger. So you start at the tip, and you take all your fingers off except your index and your thumb, and then you go about a quarter bow, reach out with your second finger, put it over the bow, and pull in. Can you see what's happening when I pull in? So that knuckle goes down. Then another quarter, same thing, pull in. And finally, you put the little finger on. Then you go backwards. And the trick is to keep the sound always the same. Nice. That was very even. Could you feel the work in the arm changing places? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that was really good. The next one is 3 to the middle. And then just for the purpose of this exercise, put your little finger over and take off the index. And then you reverse it. And again, you're trying to keep it completely same sound. Good. And remember, when you do the pinky, just go all the way over. It'll be better for the next one. I want to try it again. Good. So you see now how that gives more turn at the elbow.
Right.
You're getting more forearm rotation. Okay, next one. We have a carpet, so this is good. 2, middle 2, and bottom 2.
Okay.
Middle 2, top 2. Do you need me to guard your bow?
I think I should be good, but I'll.
Okay.
Oh, that's hard.
Uh-huh. Good, good. The last step, I generally tell people not to do it unless they are over a couch or a bed or some sort of soft surface. But of course, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, and I'm a little rusty. I need to, but it's possible. And what's amazing is how smooth it is at the frog. You would think it would be very bumpy. You want to try it?
I don't know if I'll be that smooth, but I can try.
Bravo. Terrific. Excellent. So this sort of helps you feel that entire turn and rotation. When you're actually playing a regular bow, you want all your fingers on the bow. You don't want to be lifting them, but you want the weight, you want the weight of your arm to go through different fingers and different parts of your hand as you go from one end of the bow to the next. If you're doing a slow bow, of course it's different if it's martelite. So I want you to do an up bow and feel the finger yield to the next finger, right? And you can see it a little bit in my hand, right? These fingers are working now more than that guy.
Right.
And then when I go back, you can see the energy go into the index finger.
Okay.
Beautiful and very even sound, right? And you could feel it's a tiny change, but this helps in so many situations. Let's say you're playing along and you suddenly realize that you've got the solo and you need to come out. Oh, I'm in the middle of the bow. Okay, my middle fingers. Right, it's just an instant connection into the string. So it's a very handy skill to have in your hand.